mashi Leebi Ŋulami oje chere mom le wake sanu nyo kwetu mboni pekete ngbeji ni tetelate droma fe wono e ko ngone ya fe ni ji sho ni masho na masho ihe ya ke bohu oye ojugban ya hefe no ko won ye bi ekenje oba ngo shida kleke hanu chu aka nje akpe chere o no ekwewo wono kabashi amoto ne e ba kla wo ke ya ta na no oba ngo shida kleke ha ni ji Great Aim Academy ke agbene Heartbeat Homeopathic Clinic Helios Care Center me kruk manufacture na amen wo ke Leebi Ŋulami ni fe mo ba ni bro ni go ti aje oni atupa e on body mani me krok me fe ni ba fata wo Leebi ne wo ke duro mo fe wo no sanu wo shida wan ncho kan ni ken bemli mo ba ke bele ya na gbe awon oni sa ke je ibaji shimo ba ngo shida click energy if you believe prayer ministry be adro okay ngalem ni sane Leebi ne daga wo ka wi mo fe wo de nyemochu when one call can Psalms 23 verse 4 Psalm 23 verse 4 again, even though I walk through the darkest valley I will fear no evil for you are with me your rod and your staff they comfort me. Psalm 23 verse 4 even though I walk through the darkest valley I will fear no evil for you are with me your rod and your staff they comfort me. Nakai kaji pako uba fata wo he wo ke Leebi ne ngamo ko ya ha ni ji Sarah ye Mamprobi hospital la we fata wo ni fe mo ne no bu hono ba fata wo ke wana shamo Facebook ni ji o machine media wo ke wajo twingo wa bo mi she ni ji Sarah Kufuor amoto no ke wo ye be o machine no ni che David Clotty Leebi ne mi body mani Mr Jones Nikwe aka Club Sounds okay me fe ni ba fata wo we ku eda no Leebi ne no no work ba jishishiji no fe no fio akowo hino ni oyemu ni omupe sanu na ke jomo efi no fiu ibaye emu Leebi ne ke nche ni ji Samuel kan ije ni ji Amasaman constituency ji moni gba na sanigba wo political show ni ji Leebi Ŋulami ni fe mo no Leebi ne oba ko wo chewu ntumi sani ke ahin oba ko free speech in Ghana ke agbene la wonyomo ni amoto ne ke wo public debt e shoot ketemwe na kan oba ko ke aso abake aba protect public purse alo meniji ni bi ekomeni asusu akeke ya temba hie ife na agba ni hani oshikasa ni e ya nwen both what michon what GDP bo to wo shejeme nche sami e bi wa glam shimo wa tla wo jian hie eke what ko wo hie gbe wote no e wo kankle no ni wo ko ba ji shishin be keji o fata wo he wo ke wa na shamo e Facebook to bo ni nchon ye ni ji o mashi media na kan daily graphic ji no ni woke joshishin Leebi ne no hiwo sadien le baba o shi fense wa kwet no no ba no sirens without approval cabinet direct MPs public restricts police escorts okay when it okay ine je no kuna ba glam very simple Ghana secures deal to reform small scale mining. Assemblies of God, Pentecostal Council commensurate with Dagon. Okay, Christ the King School marks 70th years of anniversary Catholic education. Agbene mid-year economic review must focus on revenue mobilization. Many your nearly economics ameke in ba. Kenya here daily graphic la hu ye bie ni wo ba kwe here ke ofori at daily guide. Daily guide. Ofori Atta still facing criminal charges. The OSP. Parliament assesses gold board's $16.11 billion gold trade. AG Ghana pays tribute to late Yana. Okay. 34 fight for Ashanti NPP executive position. 28 suspects nabbed for cyber crime, human trafficking, arms deals. Mlaye keji ufino ni yipe. Owa dumo mlaye. Obi pie wakwa nya wakwa woni fe mom. Koni semye ka chon amani ehao. The publisher Chronicle by drivers plots with guns to rob master Okay, final reparation speak for Apostle Kojo Safo's state skill funeral. BS about to watch okay. When I get no na the moment when you go na show my Facebook me go ni o mashi media okay or Facebook page in your mashi TV na gbe ba okay ji like mashi media okay if he fe inche mi aboji ko le bi ne apeche
ona ase shko mi mashi ni bi ko nchi na o nya ma shebi
wo hwehwe fe mo no wo hwehwe na mo le nwe nya Pipie tamoboni lebi na moto ne keji wa kwa koyom ne na kenugbo ishu shi fio kupe efo fio shin keji o shikwe sramose ejake wole no ni banye iba kenya ji na momi iche samisa jin le baba o shin moni bale o ba confuse okwe te o ba le o dani o ba jin she keji kulo ye na ji mo sani kwe wa nye ni 40 mi ke wo ko onye to
be much on my feel on Jimanga what color party be as I've been always doing it. Once my Kashimanga party be a fan from the president to the last person in the branch. Shingamoti by in constituency executive say for party leadership in the Amazon constituency. I'm a modern boy when the party will survive or constituency. So MP Chunichumo is the first time MP, but some of the things he's doing in Magakashi, he's quite on track. No, Quakashi, Kaya me a banner, he bear Akashi, Nichumoni Yano, will continue Akashi. Okay, she inches a me a general, no, I can Ushi Kono, he said, watch a John Raman Mama Leonshi, watch a Niji Ukujetua, a black corner, so far, Kakwa minister say, in Uchumo is saying, oh, Mamma Biaka Mukubabiaka, many no MP Chun, ni Tobono Gio a year. Koshe kukbako no wonan le nakani wa asoma ke keji ba ji na kan amefa mewa me no ni chumo enye iya no juba o na kashin amekwale ko me wi mo ge a difficult few shike o kwe ideally bia ne wode enche we the Ghanaian people le work responsibilities ko me MP say by force ni under normal circumstances you can g am responsibilities ni. For example, road construction can be construction of schools can be it is solely the responsibility of the municipal assembly. But the requirement is that there should be a constant relationship between the MP and the MC or the DC so that the development that is required there all the time on the bastion. Should be an responsibility say it is much of the MP's responsibility rather than the municipal assembly itself. No one I can MP ko ni no ko ya no the regular route ko ifite allo school chuku if I blame me assembly I blame on MP direct. I don't know if you have observed that thing. And that is why what MP said they have also insisted that if that is the case then there should be a section of the municipal assembly common fund this and that evening I can hear me. If the some of the responsibilities of the municipal assembly is being shifted to them by the citizens here, then they should have a quota of the this assembly common fund so that they can use it to fund those projects or those requirements. Or one can be an MP's feel I mean come feel route they lead Bonabon John so MP is the first time MP and Asama constituency is one of the constituencies where bad rules. When MPP was in power they constructed some of our rules. But every day, I've been saying that this Atufosin's idea of value for money officer, it must come to play. Because due to lack of monitoring and lack of supervision and corruption, MPP time and rules here come in fee. One aggression, Benny actually no rules road is if because feeder road by law, Sunny feeder road, a year not less than 5 years than they want 50 more. Over the bottom, MPP left power. They constructed some of our rules before leaving office. When they were in office, they constructed some of our rules. Because I can by now and call about constituency, rules come and constructed. If you want to go by the analogy of feeder rules, be a requirement packages and rule they spend elastic for 5 years, then they won't 50 more. Because I need to get rules never a year. I can tell you actually today court wa constituency me hey come na fe ko ta ka chonje me it looks as if actually afi ko ta ka chon ko je meda e ba nya ke be sana reshape ke ni bi come. So the MP has taken the MP and the assembly, they have taken it as a responsibility. I guess and in the rules I reshape as we wait for permanent construction from federal rules and other agencies here. It's an affirmative. I reshape it. Obana constituency, majority of these deplorable rules here, they are under reshaping. Constructive gutters. It's under permanent construction. Can you mean if things should continue that way? Then no doubt actually most of our problems, if not eliminated, they to be minimized. So I think he's doing well as a first timer in parliament. He undertaking such initiatives, such steps. It is only commendable. Actually, over praise the new channel
Ojuba. Shkobe ko kaji pako fata wewe kwa wana shama ni Facebook ake o mashi media. O stream live la hunye YouTube. Jo mashi TV Accra. Ni sauti le ni hukambute kemplike. Wacha John Dramani Mahama. Ekeme ya pefio mcho. Shi yepe me ke wemo kufoshi. Ke ko wache ken ofori atahi. Ni obasumo wo kwa boni wemo ishikamo yo ha. Kenya hie menji no ni afio ni micho akuntabu ni isa akebi pie efe wo mani akeke wo nagbena ni wo hie sake wonye ni akuntabu afoshi fan ake good name is better than riches e wo babo wo che to ike wo ba wa ko bonisa ni emi yo ha.
Laws governing extradition or return of fugitives from justice. It's a legal process, and so you need to respect the rights of the person at the same time. And so if the person has absconded from a jurisdiction and gone into a new jurisdiction, if you want to bring him back, first you must have an extradition treaty with that country, and then secondly you must trigger a request, an application for extradition, and the person has the right to take a lawyer, go before a judge. And if he doesn't want to come, he will argue against coming. And your this thing, point two, must be made that he's needed because he's done this and this and that. And so to go before a judge, unfortunately, it won't be a Ghanaian judge, it will be an American judge. And he will decide, whether the gentleman you mentioned should be put on a plane and brought back. But the Attorney General's Department has done its best. It filed the application. There are some additional documents that were asked for that it is filing, and eventually it will all go before an American judge to make a decision. But I do believe that even by virtue of holding a position like that for many years, I mean almost till the end of the regime, you held the most sensitive position as finance minister. And at a point when your own members of parliament, 80 of them, signed an application that the president should remove you, you said something historic. You said you are like the father of children and that you can't run away and leave your children. And so if we Ghanaians are your children, we are calling you, we are begging you, Father, come back. Your children are calling you to come back, but just the act of fleeing, I mean, if you're a man of principle and you believe you've done nothing wrong, I don't see why you should flee your own country. And so we'll see what the legal regime is and how it proceeds. But whatever it is, if he's brought back, he will have justice. We believe in the judicial system of our country. You have the best of lawyers to defend him. But if he doesn't come back to, then it means that he leaves a cloud of doubt over his head forever, and his children and his grandchildren. And so we'll see how things play out.
Nakai, wache iwe sang niji wache John Dramani Mahama. Enche sami, keji wobu wache mama tuye. Eke anye asu bebangwe. Lo make abala ke wache ibaba kuni akuntabu ke nibi krukume ni isake ke fungana mambia nye ibano agbenele nwe tomobonu wo che wi age ke ba penni sa ke nyena ake kule ya ban la ke panya ke krokume ai fe ibana na kam protection fe okay anye mini ji hope
okay ona MPP as a political party, I'm a disappointee. I'm a danger. I'm a disappointed the nation as well, because I didn't expect Akashi that it should get to the point Akashi Sanapa, a former minister Faidani Ebani render accounts. Every minister now I will before that you start to you swear an oath. Okay, at all times, you make yourself available, you protect the constitution, you protect the public's interest and all that. And this issue is directly connected to the public's interest. The issue is directly connected to you, your personal integrity. It is connected to the integrity of NPP as a political party, and it is as simple as that. If you are listening to the president very well, if you are principled enough, why must you even be taken to court before you come and render accounts about an office you held in the past? Then ordinarily it is assumed you don't want to come. The claim is that I'm a small Ibani, I treat all bad. I want NPP people to come out and tell me that this particular person, Amole, Agile, Lu, I treat her in a way, ni ekobakoda. Which of them? Even just recently, convicted Chairman to me when he was arrested, NPP, they packed themselves. We have discussed that in here before, in front of Yuku, and you see the minority leader sitting on the floor, trying to defend Mukuna Galete police station allegations if along charges. Every day I'm saying that it is only investigation that can whitewash somebody whenever an allegation is leveled against you, and not the cry, not the number of press conferences you hold and whatsoever. So the question I keep asking myself is, why should it get to the point Akesani akpalefai Sani Akaya court? So clearly it looks like we are now forcing him to even to come, but he doesn't want to he doesn't want to come. When that man was leaving this country, and then people they defended that stance. Trial in absentia. Fight corruption. Is that how we can fight corruption? Is that the best we can do? That when somebody belongs to a party, allegations, if corruption issue, the only thing we can do is to protect the person. The only thing we can do is when the person is convicted, at the end of the day, we organize a press conference and defend our stance, but not accepting responsibility and making the people know that, look, indeed, we are ready to give out our corrupt officials for prosecution and punishment. If we are preventing that, then what is the essence of the fight against corruption of our picture? So clearly that man doesn't want to come. If he could from hospital to securing a permanent residence in United States of America. So what shows Agashi he is ready to come? He is not ready to come, and that thing boils down to Yoko. You know, people were criticizing Yoko for issuing huge bail conditions to people, like strict bail conditions to people, and people didn't understand. But I said it on one TV station that I support it, because we have seen instances where people will run away and they don't want to come back. This case, I convicted Chairman to me. There was one guy who has run away. He has not come. The same Chairman to me, Exim Bank issue where there is also another guy who has also run away. He has also not come. Then we have a former senior minister, finance minister, who has also run on the back of Mbe Walenya Chaimaba. He doesn't want to come. To the point that we have to take him to court. So what shows that bail conditions so flexible Now the Santufuye, a bad family, a banner investigating. And when we say we are fighting corruption, it is only this investigation, prosecution, and all that. Nabanya Kenana. So I don't think that man is a principled man, just like President Mama was saying in the video. He's not a principled man. Because at the point of your appointment here, you took an oath. At any time you state and tell me, I will make myself available. So what at all, like if you think actually what are you ofiku, it means you are running away from accountability. And in a situation where a finance minister is running away from accountability, then what about the rest? When a finance minister is running away from accountability, then what about the rest? If they have gotten the chance, they will also run away and they will not come. And the same people will come and sit here and they'll tell you that ORA is not working. Meanwhile, whenever ORA begins to work, they try to block it. Whenever ORA begins to function, they organize a demonstration. Whenever ORA begins to function, they organize a press conference. After that, they will come and sit on TV. They will sit on all the TV stations in Ghana and be shouting, ORA is not working. If we are fighting corruption and there is a political party that is fighting the fight against corruption, or that is fighting against the fight against corruption, then what is our direction as a country? And every day I've been saying that this reorganization thing that MP people claim they are doing, they are not doing it well. Because reorganization begins with the mind, not bringing people together. Reorganization begins with the mind, accepting responsibility that look, the Ghanaian people voted against MPP massively, partly because of corruption. Ghanaian people voted against you massively, partly because of corruption, because it was clear, it was so glaring that majority of your officials were engaged in corruptible acts. So the Ghanaian people went to the ballot box in 2024 and they voted against you. Now, as a political party, what you have to do is to defend that image. So instead of you forcing the person to come, now investigate, now establish, you are rather helping the person to run away. So what shows that you are not corrupt? May new change. No to only gonna be anakonika at the election, let's say in 2028. Because you've not been able to accept responsibilities to the extent that even the people whose name have been mentioned in connection to corruption allegations, you are still protecting them. You are still protecting such people. And you claim you want to come to power again. For nothing at all. This, what do you call it? Kenoforiata issues name. SMLD, the amount involved is 1.4 billion Ghana cedis. It is a huge amount of money. An amount that will go against the ordinary taxpayer at the end of the day. No, okay, I can make Sanefo Mokono, a senior party member for that matter. To finish money, but the party is also in support. When have you seen MPP people organizing a press conference saying that Ukenoforiata should come? When have you experienced a situation that they are even making any effort, even their communicators, saying something that will make the man come back? No, they are even happy. They are secure permanent in the United States of America. They were happy about it. And you could see them on TV stations. They are just happy that at the end of the day, a secure permanent residence. So which kind of country do we think we are building? SML deal 1.43 billion in your procurement breaches, they constitute to that amount. Automatic payment. Acquire cash, this is the amount. Hello, it's AKP, no. The payment was just going on. And these are some of the problems. And even the third point, the most annoying part is that it is alleged that even that contractor itself was not really needed. So clearly, it was something that somebody intentionally designed to take money illegally from Ghana. And these are the allegations. So as a finance minister who wants to defend your integrity, who wants to defend the stance of your party, that indeed it was covered and the Russia-Ukraine war, they hand when you manage the economy. But when it comes to internal management, we did a good job. No, nobody defend you here. What shows Hakeshi? Nakanibi and Akefono, Ofiku. Look at something like National Cathedral. 58 million US dollars. It is part of the charges against Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta. Akesana investigating. Man, $58 million here. It is a huge amount of money. Now, I want a lot of projects. I want to roads. I want to Nibi. And under your watch as a finance minister, Akeyachamanho. And they say, come and account for it. You say, I won't come. But why is he even afraid that when he comes, he is going to be treated in a manner that is not good? Why is he afraid in the first place? I convict it is only investigation and prosecution that will establish okay, right from the time frame a KG student will know that definitely you have done it. Many times Nibiane, the man who described himself to be our father, he is rather running away from the children, and that is why one of the children is calling him to come back, which is President Mahama, because that man has said it that Ibijiwo Nikelele no Ibijiwo no okay one Nibiana or Bano Bibosane. I think it is in the fair interest of the state. I go over June so that we will be able to establish Ageshu Lelen Sanjino or Papa no Fan. But care of your marketing. Then clearly you are telling me you've done it.
She kaji wokwe maji wale yake manfema mlani nyema idawa denje. No inche sami amotone moko babi yake aso wache ibaba. Lo ibanye na ibanye ni iba. Ejake amotone ke wonkwe wimo ni judge keje US ke ba fon jiramye. Eyan wonu nshiake. Ike US immigration judge has ruled that Ghana's Office of the Special Prosecutor failed to produce a shred of persuasive evidence that the former finance minister Ken Ofori-Atta committed any crime. This is despite a more than 200-page Niji affidavit and over 70 charges filed against him. Just I'm going to get money.
Oh, as to whether I have in connection to not really court issue, it is dependent on the judge on that matter. But the question we need to ask ourselves is: meaning, Poe won Nisani, Nisani Ashe court in the first place.
Yani Sani Ashe court your manem
in the first place.
But no kechon momo ni resident permit no ni ya jikwake.
The judgment take action allegation say na ke fun no when you go produce evidence ni try action corruption ko eti no over the one mission no mean bi ake me ne won Sani Ashe court in the first place. Me ne won Sani court in the first place as to whether residence matter whatsoever. Meanwhile, it's a court in the first place. It's a court because I told neighbor, it's more neighbor. You understand? So he ended up violating certain rules and all that, and that is why he went to court, hiding behind the notion about it in a way. But we have witnessed situations in investigating me. President Mahama was investigated in the issue of the Airbus. In the history of Ghana, I've never even heard a situation where a finance minister, after his work, gave him ejofui. So in the first place, the matter shouldn't have gotten to that point. And that should be the worrying situation. And that should tell us that indeed what we are saying, he has done it. Because if you think you haven't done it, you didn't tell us you were going to stay there. You told us you were going for health something. Now, health a graduate ticket, you want to stay there. Now, from stay there, a graduate cashier any jet cash, ana criminal issue kuye ominimi. We are not saying you are a criminal. Sajina Gafono. Bona Bonincho. Nije USB ni ba investigate war issues. E ha wona make wakashi crime yemi low crime. E be me. Wo no water wo peji the presence of the person. So that about investigate gately. Just as they have people there who can do good work, good job. We also have people here who can do good job. Most of our leaders, people attend the school here, Germany. So what they know, our people also know. So our only request is that Kanofuriata should return. Koni ni bia na kehwe no nega SML deal ke national cathedral issues ne. Now investigative na kwa akashi anokwale ni no. Now because you don't want to come, what drag feet are only issue at here family. Court. So if I am here, once the issue is in court, if I'm here and I'm giving hope to the Ghanaian people, like you, he will come. And mind you, we are secure the permanent residence. But just like there are people have always suggested Akashi a trial in absentia. When the president Bulenchepo will read no Akashi, a case is still a case is in Yanololulu. It will be on record. Keji Balakashi Ataumi. It will be on record. Ghana, we had a finance minister who once took money from the Republic of Ghana illegally and ran away. And that minister is from no political party than MPP. So I think that issue could be a scar on the image of MPP. And if they know, they think they really want to defend the integrity of their party, it will only be good. Akeshi, I'm back to Akeshi Mane Family. Eba answer questions.
Okay. Ojuba, sanile wa mole bi no yake BP ke sanie ye mlanye ayu echon. Just one cho ojomo ake Ghana for more. Bi wabaya wo yin ijesami wache wuntumi boni sanie abale boni aji ne na gbe boni aji ne menwe ake e 2 hash ni judgment me hu ke fa we more hearing yakeba to the extent that a lawyer nominee yes and here wache apia kubi me hu ke keji ekwe trace na lo question in me ojuba na ke is a political nokoku wo bien na abwa sane itana bo hu jomo chomo wo mo shi ken konsanji ni ngwele no meneke ifacho okunke ifa ke krokumefen aso na ke politics here go.
In a democratic dispensation, everybody is entitled to their personal opinions. And the any decision of the court or any decision of any judge can be criticized. After you can criticize it, yes, you have that right that you can criticize the decision of a court, but you cannot attack the judge. That is one guarantee, one freedom that our constitution has guaranteed. That you can criticize the decision of the court, you can share your opinion about the decision of a court, but you cannot attack the judge. When you do that, it amounts to a crime. You see, as to whether a sentence if I am not a judge. The judge ni hale na kan sentence in the akashi ihale sentence keke ake ihale. She hale from the legal from a legal foundation, from a legal basis. Over the one mission. Because what criminal offenses act before ni judge by pronounce judgment allow even bail allow no. You look at the gravity of the crime the person has committed. Many men are if they are right. The many men only care if I'm a right. But at the end of the day, the only thing I'll say is that what the judge has done, the law is the law. Unless it goes to appeal, there are changes here. For now, I'll say that the law is the law. Over the one vision. Many make if they are looking at the overview of the crime he has committed. So they will feel like, oh, if I happen to be that judge, mahale finaka. Yes, mahale finaka. But the reason why we are many they are right. Many okay if I mean why am I right? We are entitled to our personal opinions. And the judge who did that from the angle of what? Law. And the law gives them that right to weigh the gravity of the crime that is involved and pronounce judgment. So once I am not a judge, I can only criticize and share my opinion. Over the bond, she can give me because initially this issue of Galamsey issue in connection to illegal mining can be maximum no by 3 years. But President Nana Danko Akufo-Addo, if I expand the legislative 15 years, could the punishment for Galamsey is more strict. Do you get my point? So many make if they are looking at the overview of the crime he has committed. The many if what they need to know is that it is a law that has already been what? Passed. I call for a normal of what? Years. So where is your justification? We haven't in this country, haven't you seen people being jailed even more than that before for petty offenses? We have seen a situation where people are being jailed for petty offenses. Mogonyo ya juo mogo farm produce kegale 10 years. What about that one? Mogonyo ya aju mogo food 10 years, 6 years. What about that one? What is the price of phone? Phone anymore call. What is the price of it? Ni noni menenwa KFE. Miniji, what is the magnitude of the implication? It has contributed to the increment of price of water today. What are the implications of Galamsey? No need anyone with Jalewa because they need to water treatment if it costly. And the company doesn't have any option than to push it onto the consumers. Okay, far. What is the meaning of a far? What is the meaning of a fashion? Ambassador, you are not a judge.
Okay.
So, judge used to the lenche. Imla ke ejuemo because constitution has like a use a discretion. They can weigh the magnitude of the crime involved. They can pronounce a judgment. So I agree with the decision of the court. And you see, many men if maybe economy issue they were not following. This issue of Chemaun to me didn't start from Mohammed's administration. And that is what we need to understand. It started from MPP's administration. When the then Lands Minister came out to say that Akunta Mining is engaged in illegal mining in the Tano forest. And he further ordered Forestry Commission to go there and take actions. Forestry Commission official said, now may I take actions here. The security men, macho men of Akunta Mining prevented the Forestry Commission from working. And when you watch the video, some were even threatening the Forestry Commission officials. They will call superior national officers. What they are doing, the MPP as a political party and the entire MPP government machinery was behind it. To the extent that they were able to block the Forestry Commission people. I have the video, my father, send it to you. They were able to block them. They blocked them, and then I'm a Nibi Forestry Commission be a easier. I'm a before the Hanamiti. And that was the level of impunity.
Okay.
That was the level of stubbornness of Akunta Mining. So punishment if I don't clearly you don't know what you are talking about. I must send a video Mahabuni.
Okay. Oye bemni utawo neke a video ne mokoba bia ke many G no yeti no ke won ko boni teleji ake be boni mla aweji Bernard Enchibo Isiakun, widely known as Chamaun to me, was sentenced to 20 years in prison with hard labor and fined of 120,000 Ghana cedi by the Accra High Court. Assigning minerals rights without approval of the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources.
Now, after they blocked the Forestry Commission BA from working, then in 2023, I think January 4th or so, the president came out. Mind you, I said it, that the entire the then government machinery was behind what Chairman Ŋulami was doing. And their recent attempt to organize a press conference in defense of Chairman Ŋulami's conviction shows that they were behind what he was doing. After that, January, what they did was that the president came out to say that Akunta Mining is not engaged in illegal mining anywhere in the country. So, clearly, government was in support of what he was doing. Over the born musician. Just recently, look at what happened at Samra Boy. All because of this illegal mining thing. So I don't know why MPP is not able to separate their political party from the activities of Akunta Mining, because Akunta Mining is a private company managed by an MPP member. Assuming the conviction was in connection to MPP as a political party, then we can say that it is a political witch hunting, or to me is a political prisoner. But this is a company who has engaged in illegality, and he's been convicted. And the only good thing MPP can serve the people of Ghana with is to organize a press conference and to defend their stance. That at the end of the day, what they are going to do is to criticize the judge, or to make the Ghanaian people assume that Chairman Ŋulami has not engaged in any form of illegal mining. Meanwhile, your own minister in 2022 said it, that Akunta Mining is engaging in illegal mining in some of the forest. So clearly MPP is a double standard political party, and they don't even know what they are doing. They are so confused. Akunta Mining is engaged in those things. But you were not following those things. But you follow illegal mining conversations. Illegal mining conversations. No, the conviction of Chairman Ŋulami, in fact, it brought a very exciting atmosphere that day. And you could see that people were happy. They were not happy because Chairman Ŋulami has been jailed. NDC people are not happy because Chairman Ŋulami has been jailed. At the end of the day, he's a Ghanaian. Me, I don't know Chairman Ŋulami from anywhere. But I'm happy that at least somebody engaged in illegal mining, a situation we have all talked about for more than a year now, and somebody has been what? Has been jailed. It will serve as a deterrent to other people. And if MPP truly love the fight against Galamsey, they should also love the conviction of Chairman Ŋulami.
Okay. The process has been too fast. Ake keji okwe be kunehu wache chikata mekeme kukume. At least Sani travel to 1 year, 2 years ke kukume okwe wache case force in la Sani ni nakambia an ambulance case agbla Sani te here sang no many oni ene if it too fast naka no go to mo ajigba alo noko.
You see, like I told you, I always have these two phrases that I used to describe MPP people. One, they are hypocritical, and then two, they are double standard people. They are not principled. We have been in this country and they have always criticized you have heard it, you are a presenter, you have heard it here before. They've been saying it. Even in connection to this same Chairman, they have said it. Engage in illegal mining. Now the person has been convicted, and the same people are coming back to tell you that if it's too fast. So what at all is MPP people looking for? Their focus is always to defend their party, whether good or bad. Not even at the point when Ghana is suffering. They will go all levels to defend their party. So the decision of the court, allow the processes of the court, the FA too quick. That person is a double standard hypocrite who doesn't know what he's talking about, especially if that talking is coming from the angle of MPP. Because they have always criticized ORA, they have always criticized the legal system. That if we claim they are corrupt, if we claim they are criminals, why are we unable to convict them? Why are we unable to prosecute them? Now the court is working swiftly. The court is working so smart, and you are the same people criticizing that it has been too fast. Me no like a fast track high court banana. to speed up our judicial services, to speed up the work of the judicial service, and that is why I fast track high court. And we should even commend the system. We should even appreciate that at least we've not been able to deal with a corruption issue within a space of 1.5 years before, but this time around we've been able to achieve it. If all the corruption issues a court 10 years ago now we can be a space of 1.5 years in Bina, but this time one was Hajana feel when it comes to corruption.
She kaji it fast na kan beno process no acho allo men susu ake keti mla be no go dun shin te
David keti mla no ko yakono. Like I told you here, mon friend when I feel like the conviction of Chairman to me is politically motivated. Okay. It's not true. The conviction of Chairman to me is not politically motivated. Mind you, the judicial organ of government is entirely different from the executive. So what is President Mahama's interest? To influence the decision of a judge. What is President Mahama's interest? Assuming President Mahama was the judge, then it is politically motivated. But President Mahama is not the judge. He is the head of the executive arm of government. And the judge falls under the judiciary, the judicial arm of government. They are only there to check one another, but not to motivate the conviction of people. So any person who claims that President Mahama or Chairman Suntimi's conviction is politically motivated doesn't know what he's talking about. There is a clear separation of powers, which shows that the judiciary or the judicial arm of government has the power to work independently and separately from the executive arm of government. So based on what? What are your bases when you say the case was politically motivated?
Okay.
So clearly, this established the fact that most of the people they have convicted. Now I'm NDCP here. Then clearly they motivated the judges, or they motivated those cases were politically motivated. Because if you think those people were corrupt officials and the judiciary was so independent, after all the processes they were convicted, and another person has been convicted. Oshinobo 15 15 and convicted before. No, I feel like actually those cases were not politically motivated. But Mokomepe na mole, no, you think it is politically motivated. What is giving you that thinking? It means you've been doing it, just like we saw in the case of Atuforcing. It means you've been doing it. You've been planning to convict people. But in the issue of Chairman to me, that case was not politically motivated. And we all know, initially it was an allegation, but now it is no more an allegation, it is a fact. That Chairman to me was engaging in illegal mining.
Okay. Whether oral, no oral, corruption is corruption. She's an by be so what you want to miss did he go through oral process? Because Facebook Amoton Evelyn Empress Braid. If want to me didn't go through oral. So tell my NDC friend that he shouldn't be confused.
She shouldn't be confused with the writing. Oral gathers information. Oral doesn't investigate. If she doesn't know, I am telling her or him, Oral doesn't investigate. Oral will gather information and give it to the appropriate investigative body. Yoko, Attorney General, CID, mention them. So Oral doesn't investigate. So what is a basis when he says, has the person gone through Oral?
Okay. No, just Tomobono show here a video ni ake forestry commission bi eteni amakwe akaso no ni awie na kanlo no na ka asam na be no jino ni woko abotone e call of friends come gwenye kwa na show my Facebook.
Well, any sound there play back, can sound there back. You hear what they are saying?
Okay. Producer, I don't care in won wa bo we mo to over.
No. He's lying. He's lying. He's lying. I'm telling you. You use force. You use force. No, you. Open the gate. Open the gate. Open the gate. You want to open the gate? Open the gate. You take instructions from me. It's simple. Yes, sir. You have to the security agencies come and then take all of us away.
And no extra youth in some chair for any a year or you know was Samra boy, Nana Aka Ando, actually in Como and watch.
Look at what you saw. Is that not a disgraceful thing? If even this video is evident enough, Akeshin Chairman to me must be what? Convicted. If truly we have laws against illegal mining. Because contact mining is for Chairman Team. And the reason why I convicted Chairman Team is because court management ko fata. So he has become like a de facto management to contact mining. And that is why the company has not been able to separate itself from the person. So MPP shouldn't be confused. They should know that Ŋulami was their regional chairman for the Ashanti region, but at the same time a manager for a company. And that company has engaged in an illegality. And he has been convicted. So when you come in with your political cries and your political press conferences, what are your intentions? What do you want to achieve as a political party? All we have to do is to commend the current administration that a process which was started by the previous government, now enforced laws here, need today, I convict him. And we look forward that in connection to this illegal mining should also go through the same process. Now convicted. Because mind you, crime knows no political colors. And President Mama has stated it categorically and emphatically that any person have actually in connection to Galamsey, it doesn't matter the party you belong to, that in Ghana, no one is bigger than the laws. No political party is bigger than the laws of Ghana. No individual is bigger than the laws of Ghana. If you are found guilty, you will be convicted. And it's as simple as that.
Okay. No, inche beni chwanke Galamsey ga mining ne sandi page no ni ake feed neke jeo.
Other issues shino mehu
ibako obe amoto ne 20 illegal mining ne. Keji wo babo wo deputy AG hu tuye. Lewe ke wache srime lewe ke yumoko ibeba foshin. Ni we have rejected NG plea bargain offered by Chairman Ŋulami for in Exim Bank case. Ewo keji plea bargain na kete Exim Bank be fang be awacha fon ni inepe ni 80-20. Can no awu no mini no
the decision still lies with the court. I am not a judge. And whatever decision that comes out from the court, I will accept it because that is what the court says. Can decision the court can feel like you are not satisfied with it? The Constitution has given us the pathway to follow. Where do you go? You go to appeals court, and this time around you have 3 senior judges to look into the matter to ensure action. Judgment any previous judge is in the right direction or not. So if you think you are not satisfied, it is not about holding press conferences. It's about going through the legal processes. Go to appeals court, they will sit on it again, they will look into the matter, and they will be able to establish as to whether the punishment is in line with the crime we are talking about or not. Just like the judge used the available laws and whatsoever to sentence him for 20 years. The same way, the gravity of the crime is going to be what? Weighed again. Nikanohu is at 20 years. no akaba femini akaba fita hiale
nakai
nesa 10 years akaba fita hiale. You see, when he was arrested, people sat down and cried. Many men are attached on a fool. Today, tell me now, how are they feeling? The person you have been defending on TV, the person you have always defended, that he has not committed any crime, he's being witch hunted, has been convicted, and in another case, he has offered to go for plea bargain, meaning he has accepted committing a crime. No money accept or plea bargain. That is it. Akesane phone no fiku. No ba you go fiku she this one case here and pay the 50. No. So somebody that you cried, somebody that you sat on the floor for, crying for his release, is now accepting plea bargain, is now being convicted. So how will you describe yourself? In short, jeje bakwe if I weigh the gravity of the crime involved, ni punishment ni sale na kibale. So we can only comment after the case has come to an end, or after the determination of the court. Any person who feels dissatisfied has the right to go to appeals court.
If you have 15 minutes, no work ni femo baba nagbe. Oti ni work wa mu ni femo na lo make incho no kwa mu ni femo na. Enche samina ke amotone sani efi no kufu ni isake wonye wo na mi glama ke Ghana's public debt rises significantly by 47 billion in 3 months. Come on, GDP ratio jo fe mi chon ni bi balloon kembangwe ni won susu ake ichekuchon akweko ni no agbo no amoton within just 3 months wa bi ake mini poten afi mini dino
one factors ni ihan world debt eating internal borrowing, exchange rate, okay, interest accumulation. Basically these are the reasons why ni world no feeling eating. And the fact that government goes to pay our debt doesn't mean that automatically debt ever reduce. Government buys treasury bill from the people to settle other debt. And mind you, government is not borrowing recklessly. We have seen it within the shortest period of time. You have seen a lot of developmental projects going on. Yet government has never gone outside our national borders to take money from anywhere. And that is what we need to understand. When we came, one of the factors what debt reduced drastically was our ability to reduce and stabilize exchange rate. So one thing you need to understand is that what external debt, it is being calculated in dollars. So anytime dollar lose value, what debt it will rise. And it is as simple as that. Anytime dollar will lose value, what debt it will rise. So this thing that we are talking about today, no okay, what debt it is. Let us compare it to the time. $1 was 15 cedis, which is the legacy of the Akufo-Addo government. What could have been our debt by now? That is what we should be thinking about. Let us compare it to the time when $1 was 15 cedis. Today, when I checked, I think $1 is around 11 cedis to 12 cedis. At a point in time, it was reduced drastically to around 10 cedis, and that was when our debt reduced drastically as well. Now it is between 11 and 12 there. So automatically, what that a total accumulation about me. Now, what your debt stock can debt burden? What debt stock? The total amount of money we owe domestically or internationally. Now, what debt burden? Your ability to pay. Is the economy strong enough that we can pay our debt? Yes. Recently, didn't we hear the administration paying some of our debt? You heard it. So it means that government is borrowing though, but the economy is stable enough that we can what? We can pay. And that is the fundamental thing we should be talking about. If you compare this issue to the previous administration, where we couldn't pay our debt. And so therefore, we were forced, government was forced to go into IMF. Government was forced to introduce haircuts. And people died out of the haircut. So nobody will tell you that clearly. It came as a result of reckless borrowing. Borrowing without investing. Borrowing and spending. Reckless spending. But today, as we are sitting here, we have an economy that can service our debt. And day in, day out, oh no, oh, in our pay. Can government pay? It's an FMI. Until Ghana moves from taxation to production, just like Akufo-Addo promised, but he failed there. It will continue to be like that. And with the work of President Mahama, no doubt, we are gradually heading towards that production path. Today, 24-hour economy markets are being constructed across everywhere. Roads are being constructed to connect the farming areas to the market centers. Negative in the long run, if I generate revenue, can government.
No, but Noji moving from taxation to production.
Very good. Yes. How can you have a robust production system when you don't have good rules? And ask yourself, Shikana Agboro, Mina Kefio. Agboja government today is he's one of my best ministers. He will be on the side, supervise, and ensure that people are doing what they are supposed to do. Road construction is everywhere. So sometimes when I meet, when I'm working and I meet some of the constructions, and I say, hey, President Mahama said it that we should keep calm. Ghana, the whole of Ghana is going to turn into a construction site, and it is true. It was Shikaji na fa, nibi na kefioni. Shika na fa, akema 24-hour economy market. Shika na fa, akema education. Since we came, only are complaining about the problems of free SHS again. Where do you think government is getting money to sponsor those things? So government is borrowing wisely and spending wisely. We have never engaged in any form of reckless borrowing. Unlike the previous years. So yes, I accept the fact that we are borrowing. Our total debt stock has gone up. But the issue is that this is not a burden to the Ghanaian economy. We have that fiscal space to what? To repay. And that is the most important thing. Assuming we are borrowing and we cannot pay, that is where it becomes a problem. And the most beautiful aspect is that, like I said, interest accumulation, exchange rate issues, and indeed, government has what? Borrowed. But after the borrowing, the government has also invested wisely. Look at the road construction, school constructions. Just recently, know about power in area. School, in my municipality, those that I know, schools. Government in fund the free SHS. Government is raising what do you call it? Health insurance scheme tariff. Where do you think the government money is coming from? No, what that indeed they think, she government is borrowing wisely and spending wisely.
No, bekeji akebia ne bala kunta buwale no na keni bashi.
Oh yes.
Ekomi enyo.
Sure.
No jino ni fa shikana.
Sure.
Akechu.
Sure.
No be monita se ni anu shishine kulele hu we mono. Me jino ni okay money la unne yo se ni enu shishin to the court amaboni uglam ni eba we chino kle ye ba kenye ba nyeba wama ye ba kenye ba nyeba ko wona ofi ne kenye ba amoto ne kumono na yo.
Noni mo sane no shishiji. Governance is business. Governance is purely business. And all the countries across the world there. I mean, one fashka. But the difference between the developing countries and the developed countries age, their ability to pay, or ability to pay. That is where it becomes a problem. So when your debt increases to the extent that it becomes a burden, that is when the citizens must begin to fear. But in a situation where the economy has been stabilized, that we can pay, it shouldn't be a source of fear to the ordinary Ghanaians. Because all the monies that are being borrowed there are being invested wisely. And like I told you, exchange rate is one of the factors they want, or that if it went to that level. interest rate accumulation. The previous government, we left our total debt at 122 billion Ghana cedis. When they were leaving, it was 726 billion Ghana cedis. We have been in power for almost 2 years. What debt check with 700 billion Ghana cedis. So even if you say you are comparing these two figures alone, can you tell me that President Mahama is not performing? No. Even if you claim our debt has increased, in where increase in where te what I call it in so in as much as we have borrowed, it is not a burden to the ordinary Ghanaian. But we are having a stable economy that can repay.
Okay. No, okay, we are a developing nation, a low country. Come on, quite developed countries. They have the ability to service their debt. Come on, quite policies, initiatives. The production. Are we also a developing country? Ni president take care of a madam machine. Aso one na can famo one yena can bear no.
Looking at the policies of President Mahama, you don't need a prophet to tell you akeshin one year na can be fan. Even the 24-hour economic policy alone is a game changer. A lot of people feel akeshin 20 government announcing 24-hour economy akepaba dumono na akewa akeshu chuni lebi shanigbeke. No. Before the introduction of 24-hour economy, the government listed areas I'm about starting with the policy. True or false?
True.
And the government then again said private companies here voluntary action they will participate in the 24-hour economy. They mandatory. Yes. So if there is a private company, know that it's by force but the government institutions, government feel like they must run 24-hour economy. They are doing it. They are doing it. If all production companies buy enrolling on the policy, now expand our production capacity, output feel large. Very soon, some of these issues a thing of the past.
Okay. Ojugba I know show try 0274324331 0274324331 ko ni fe mo ba na gbe when e be e team lan to bo ni nchon yen we whether hin kra no ko je ohien islam se ko shin le hu be kumo yin egbe ke no no wa fe o fe le bam ke oku yin egbe oba o sam ke mba na gbe ile ake sa ke wonye wo jui otikroko shike mu na okay bo fe o na gbe wi mo ni wo ke ba na gbe
o we na gbe mo me to mo wi about free speech here.
Free speech here, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Free speech has become a topic of the day in recent times. You see, when we talk about freedom of speech, the Constitution Article 21, they make it clear, actually, all Ghanaians, we have the freedom to express our views and our opinions when it comes to issues of national interest or any other matter. You have the freedom to debate and everything. But freedom of speech doesn't guarantee freedom of insult. Freedom of speech doesn't guarantee freedom of defaming somebody. It doesn't support threatening somebody. So when you go overboard, when you extend your boundaries and you begin to insult, you begin to attack people, you begin to publish false publications, you begin to accuse people wrongly, you begin to defame people, what do you expect to come from the law? The 1992 Constitution, when you read Article 12, okay, you have the right to enjoy your freedoms, but not to affect somebody's right. You enjoy your freedoms, all right. You enjoy no can affect him a right. So in as much as you have your freedom, you have your liberty to do certain things there, you should also respect another person's what? Right. When you read Article 164, 162, 163, 164, all these articles are limitations on these our freedoms I'm talking about. Criminal Offences Act 29, Cogbele Section 207, 208, they are limitations to freedom of speech. So if somebody violates a law, somebody defames somebody commits a crime in connection to freedom of speech, then you come and say that the party or the government of the day is preventing people from expressing their views. Have you ever listened to that woman who was arrested? Have you listened to the statement she was making? Calling somebody a kidnapper and all that. Look, if you want to train political communicators, we should train good political communicators. We should let them know their boundaries. The communication is becoming too cheap. That people who don't even understand certain things will just come and sit on TikTok and they will be insulting people. Me, I don't insult people. I don't have your time. Because in Leagashi can be a problem. In Leagashi can defame me boy. One problem. These your people who are involved in this arrest and conviction in the name of freedom of speech. What they did practically violates the laws of the Republic of Ghana. So when you say somebody is preventing the enjoyment of freedom of speech, what kind of freedom of speech is the person preventing? What kind of freedom of speech is the government of the day preventing? The government of the day is preventing freedom of insult, freedom of defamation, freedom of threatening, freedom of false accusation. The government of the day is preventing those things. So how do you turn around and come and call it a suppressive freedom of speech? Today, as we are speaking, Sami Jemfi is in court because of that matter. Mineve, ekamoko compare Matthew Poku Prempe Keke comparison. The then minister said Sami Jemfi has defamed him. They get a court. Just recently, we had a ruling go back now any defamatory statement go him.
No, moko FM la.
The mere fact that I did it, it doesn't mean when you do it, nobody will mind you.
Sure.
So if your issue, if your mentality is that NDC people did it, so we are also doing it, then what kind of development are we all calling for? So why are you also encouraging your people to do? Nobody is bigger than the law. And I don't think the NDC administration has any interest in preventing people from enjoying their freedom of speech. But when you want to graduate from freedom of speech to freedom of insult, freedom of defamation, freedom of threatening, freedom of false accusation, and freedom of name calling, the law will take you on.
Okay, no, the law will take you on. Go quite more. When you again. Be na hale aso alo fen ko ke mla no ba Africa boni mla
ba kebo ba ye ha. You see, mla, when you go to court, mla ko e mo hin. Law doesn't look at the faces of people. Law will only look at the matter before the judge. Like the law will look at the matter before it. It doesn't matter if Bongo, it doesn't matter someone look at it, doesn't matter. No. The law, like the woman said, the law is the law. So law doesn't understand emotions. Law doesn't do politics. Law doesn't cry. It doesn't laugh. It is straightforward. The judge will weigh the gravity of the crime you have committed, and you will be punished. It's as simple as that. Akene kafi, mlakene kafi. The only thing, no wanyo feji court, wanyo prove ake, no ni mlake kafi elele infiku. She coffee committee ele. I can say on authority that the law is the law. And nobody's right has been prevented.
Nakai. Mlai benabu ni two wrongs never save right. No keje osusu agam go fe ni be ko ne o ni ehin ni make eye. Bo ngbe na ona gbe na dromo efe o no. No make ngbe ne dromo efe o no. The bo ba susu ake wa fe the same thing kai mo ake no ni ake bobo e je no ake bomoko. Gbe na ake chobo je no ake chomoko. Offense we should be guided. Tamamboni constitution ya kashin ya woni mla this ake wo fen wo na jinfamo ino ba ta o we momle ono fen of momle sa onyo gado ingbeji ni tetela think enche ni ji samyo kan the momle gan NDC ko eja masaman ji constituency ni ami Leebi Ŋulami oje chere momle wo ke wo ba so monye tamamboni sa ake wo ke ba ni do kenya nu wo do shanim le wo ke e manoson